guys, Charles Damiano back from the Bruce Lee collection for another exciting episode, and today's the big day. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to review with Hector and the team what we thought of the box sets here. So Hector, why don't we start by first introducing who we have here today?
What is going on, everybody? Today's a very special day for me. It's an honor, man, because today I have the one and only renowned artist, the young artist, Mr. Gian Galang. Welcome, Gian. Welcome, bro. And of course, we got my main man from Times Square Kung Fu YouTube channel.
That's right.
The one and only, thank goodness, Frankie Balboa. Yes! Welcome, brothers. Welcome. Charlie, as usual.
Yes, man.
Welcome to my
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
So why don't we start by I know we have a lot of box sets. I brought mine here, which I didn't even open yet. So and I'm just getting the 4K player now so I can start viewing them.
You never open
I never open things. But you started watching them and you opened a few here. Why don't you just let the fans know what is the difference between the three you have here on the table right now?
Well, this is the new Bruce Lee collection Arrow box set. It's actually the 4K Arrow box set, Charlie. So this one here, this is my Arrow exclusive. You can only order this directly from Arrow, which is now sold out actually, and features wonderful artwork by Tom Ralston. And as you can see, he's got some Way of the Dragon action in the front with some Game of Death. And this is the 4K Tom Ralston artwork edition.
Yes.
And then you have this one. This is also the 4K version number 2, which features artwork by Tony Stella.
Yeah.
And but I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know much about Tony Stella until I was talking to Frankie about it. Because Frankie's more into this than I am. So I learned the bit that I know about Tony Stella through Frankie Balboa. So it features a great Big Boss painting here in the front of this one. And so this is also 4K. So the 4K by Tony Stella, 4K by Tom Ralston, and then this one at the end is again the Tony Stella artwork, but this is only the Blu-ray box set.
Because people who don't have 4K and don't want to change their player, they can at least watch it on Blu-ray, right? That's why they came out with this one.
That's correct. But this one actually features both.
Both.
It's got 4K and then the supplemental material is Blu-ray. But this one is completely Blu-ray.
Right, got you.
And so yeah, and I see you brought your own. So,
unopened.
Unopened.
Just got it the other day. I'm really excited. And Gian, you were saying that you're familiar with
Tony Stella.
Tony Stella, I'm sorry, as well.
Yeah.
And so I actually like the artwork of Tony Stella better than the artwork on here. And that's why I bought that set as well, which is on the way. But I prefer the artwork there. What do you know about Tony Stella? What do you think of his artwork in general?
Yeah, so what I love about Tony's work is when you look at his piece, it feels like you get the energy and the spirit of the movie in a single image.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Like, I was thinking the other day, it's kind of like if you had a crystal ball and you're like, show me Enter the Dragon, what you would see. And it's kind of, you would see like ethereal figures, you would see parts of the movie coming out, but they feel like they're in motion. And that's kind of what I feel like when I look at Tony's work. It's like he almost plucked the characters from the films.
Yeah.
And the way he arranges it not only makes for an amazing still composition, but it tells you a little bit more about the movie.
About the movie.
You know, and you know, also, as we're breaking it down,
look at one of these.
That's
crazy.
So if you look at these things, from as an artist myself,
that is beautiful.
I could say like
I love it.
The level of skill is really master level because especially with the type of media that he uses, which I assume is watercolor, maybe gouache combinations. The same qualities that give it that ethereal spontaneity is also very unforgiving.
Yeah.
So you really have to know. You really have to know how to put down your marks. You know,
that's an artist talking right there, bro.
Definitely it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially when you work with blacks, it's pretty tough to work with.
Yeah. This is a great job.
Yeah, this just caught my eyes when I saw this displayed by Tony Stella and the artwork, and they had all 10 discs, and they showed you the difference of both. Right away, my eyes went to Tony Stella's work. They just blew me away.
Yeah, yeah.
Blew me away.
But
This is
also,
a great
you can
game of
see,
death. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, these also they don't have his artwork on the inside, but it's the original poster.
Right, they use the original posters on the inside.
Most of the collectors know about the posters.
Right, yeah. But the artwork got me because it's new, it's different, it's but you still catch the essence of Bruce Lee in that artwork.
100%. What I dig about the artwork, Gian, you would know about it, but yet, even though you're young, what I enjoy about Tony Stella's artwork is it's very 70s.
Yeah. It does have that throwback vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I think it is because that is what artists had to do at the time, because they didn't have too many photo shoots. They would just have to work with what was in the movie.
What was in the movie?
So it's
I heard they would bring the star of the movie to the studio, and they would use them as reference for the poster art.
Oh, that's great. I mean,
Back in the day, right?
Back in the day,
Yeah, you
in
were
the
telling me
70s,
that.
they would invite like the blaxploitation films, Pam Grier, Fred Williamson, Jim Brown. They would come to the studio, sit and pose, and the artist would incorporate them into the artwork.
Right, because the artwork there was more cartoonish, right? But you still captured the essence of that person, even though maybe because they brought them into the studio and did that.
This is pretty cool. It's simple, but it's nice.
it's just with watercolor, it's so tough.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
Yeah,
For watercolor?
Yeah. Like, see, the fact that it's. I think one of the hardest things as an artist is to make something that looks great, that looks effortless. So and it's and like I said, this medium is like very unforgiving. Like you see like every stroke and everything is kind of just right.
Yeah.
As opposed to like some other mediums where maybe like oils or acrylic where you have more chance to keep working it. This thing, like watercolors, wet on wet wash, you can't. It's easy to overwork.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
to get the spontaneity is like you have to have real mastery of the medium.
So in other words, the artist knew exactly where to stop.
Yeah.
He didn't continue.
Exactly.
Right, because in this case, less is more.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
And I think that's one of the hardest things.
Want to show those last two?
Yeah, let's go here. So this is Bruce Lee the Legend and the Game of Death 2, Tower of Death, which is one of my favorites actually.
And then they add this beautiful book, right, to all of them, which is great. It's in all the box sets. Look at that hardcover book.
Pretty heavy book, and it's got some great stuff in there.
I think Willie Chow.
Good photos. Who wrote it?
Willie
Chow?
Yeah, I think so. He's really well known. I mean,
And look at all the
Claw,
postcards, right? That's all the postcards of all his movies.
Walter Chow.
Walter Chow.
I said Willie.
Willie Chow.
He's gonna mess me up on Twitter.
These are the lobby, mini lobby cards.
Of all his films.
Of all his films, yeah.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think is Enter the Dragon there?
Oh, I don't know. You have to take them all out. And then this is the poster.
This is like a reproduction. Have you seen this, Gian?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, this is a reproduction of the British quad.
Yes.
Yeah. This is where I step in.
There you go there, Frankie.
I wish they included Tony Stella's artwork.
Yes.
The posters, like.
And then the big boss.
I think that could have been improved also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the back.
I mean, it's nice.
It's cool, but
It's cool.
I mean, I bought the box set for the movies.
Yeah.
I didn't buy them for the poster. But still, these materials are pretty cool too.
What's this last thing they put in here?
Those are like these little
black and white
Fist of Fury black and white photos.
Yeah. Fist of Fury.
It's like a nice little collection. Yeah.
I think people had issues with this. I think they glue in.
Oh really?
Pictures. Yeah.
Oh. Like they
You
stuck
gotta
together?
be careful, yeah.
Oh, I see. So when you pull them apart, they stick a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, for what they give you though in here, for the price, I have collectors that have been emailing me that have the set already. You get 10 discs, right?
No,
You
it's
get
amazing.
the book, you get the poster, you get all the lobby cards.
Yeah.
For the price, whatever it is, $1.50 or something like that. I think it's the best value for your money. People are saying it's one of the better collectibles that came out on Bruce Lee in a long time. It's like top notch.
To me, I think it is the best.
No,
right?
it's the best.
It's the most exciting collectible online right now.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, of any film, period. I never seen something well curated and put together.
Right?
It's complete. It's complete.
It's complete.
But
I have an issue with it.
Yeah, tell me, because you're the expert on color, print, transfer, audio, everything. And you've been watching these already?
Yeah, I stop at Way of the Dragon. That print is never going to look good.
Okay.
But it looks better than what you got.
Okay, good to know, man.
But my beef with this is minors. We already went about the packaging. Like, some people got some bumps here.
Right.
The shipping.
The shipping, yeah.
So if you guys order this, just be patient. You know, you're going to get a bump. But hey, man, that's life.
Dings.
Yeah, a lot of collectors are writing in that theirs got damaged, that they wish Arrow packaged it better, and if they kind of just put a little, thin cardboard that they send it to you, and then it drops probably in the post office, and then the corner's dented in.
They're using a new company, I don't know, but this is my big issue with this set. Digipacks. These things right here, you have to be so fragile to put this back in. Over the years,
get crushed. Yeah.
Is it look already? You're gonna get wear and tear.
Oh, on the corners and stuff, because it's not plastic, right?
It's not plastic.
Cardboard.
So I was
not solid.
Yeah, and this right here, look at that, it's already lifting up. Over the years,
it raises
it
the
opens
plastic,
up.
yeah.
It's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen to this thing that I have right here.
Wow.
This is a great film from Johnny To, Election. It's basically the Hong Kong Godfather here. So I had this for a long time, so look what happened eventually.
Oh, wow, it just comes
See that? Because the heat,
So the glue came right off of the packaging.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's an issue. And I was talking to a friend of mine. They should have went with slim cases because Game of Death, how many discs does it have here? Yeah, they could have put the extra, this Game of Death 2 and the alternative Game of Death
together.
They could have used a slim plastic Blu-ray case and put all 3 discs there.
Gotcha.
By putting, an array here.
Yeah.
Similar to what Criterion did.
Yeah. Instead of making individual case for each
Because, let me show you guys a slim case. This is In the Line of Duty with Michelle Yeoh, Cynthia Khan.
Wow.
From '88. I prefer this style. I prefer this style because look at the case.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely plastic. Yeah.
Completely plastic, slim. You get a clear one. You can see the artwork.
Those are your typical Blu-ray cases.
Yeah.
No, it's not. This is a slimmer one.
Those are the.
But it's very close to the Blu-ray, though.
Yeah.
No?
Look.
It could have fit in there.
Gotcha.
So they could have went with the plastic instead of the cardboard.
Right.
They went because they want to save money. I get it.
Yeah.
Because this thing is expensive to put together. But I wish they went with something like this.
Yeah.
Because I love this art so much. Like, look at this right here. Imagine this thing gets damaged, bump, something happens to it. You can't replace it unless you scanned them. And I'm gonna bother Gian to scan these for me.
There you go. Yeah.
I could, make my own slim cases.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna modify this case, and I'm gonna replace it with these.
Nice. Yeah. And then you can preserve the artwork in the original boxes.
That's
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So I recommend if you guys next to a FedEx or Kinko's or any scanning place, scan these bad boys because if something happens to your case, wear and tear over the years, there's no way you can replace it.
Now the artwork's ruined, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So now, who started watching what films? I know, Hector, you just got this in. Which ones did you watch so far?
I actually started watching The Big Boss.
Okay.
The Big Boss because that's what everybody started watching.
The Mandarin cut?
The Mandarin cut. And
what were your thoughts on it so far?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, yeah. Because, listen, I was born in 61. I got to see Fists of Fury, which was the name of The Big Boss here in America. I saw it back in 1973. So from 1973 to 2023, I've been seeing the same film.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Arrow adds an additional 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes is really a long time.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's not, but it is. When you sit down and you watch these newly discovered footage, it gives The Big Boss a different feel to it.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
You started showing it to me when I first got here, and I couldn't believe it. What I was watching,
I was
seeing
stunned.
Bruce and these little clips that you never saw before that they took out originally in 1973.
But back then, you got to understand one thing. Back then, Bruce Lee was just beginning to become a star.
Yeah.
So they cut these scenes and they gave us what we've been seeing all these years. But now that we know Bruce Lee,
now we want to see them.
Every minute stands out because we're watching Bruce Lee again.
Yeah.
And his charisma is undeniable. His little grins, his little smiles, his little chats. Because there's not much fighting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of dialogue. But it's good enough for me.
What we got. I was wondering how they were going to get the 10 minutes of clips inserted precisely in the movie, and,
Right.
and you were showing me. Did you see how they did that?
Yeah,
and you can
it's
see
seamless.
where it's seamless, right? But the only thing that changes is the color a little bit changes, right?
You can tell the old print from the new print. So
Well,
the remastered
They
from the
actually,
unremastered.
they actually have a non 4K version there, so you won't get distracted with the.
Now, how come they couldn't
4K?
make that 4K? The footage they found. How come they couldn't put that into 4K?
Because of the quality of the print.
Oh, because it's so old and
It's
they're-
so old, and it's also the subtitles are hard coded.
Yes.
So when you use something like
Yes.
Topaz AI, Topaz is an AI upscaling tool that movie studios use to enhance the image to like 4K or whatever. So when you try to AI something that's already hard subbed, where the words already in there, it's gonna look funny. It's gonna look funky. So
because you pointed that out to me, and you could see that even though it's a seamless transition, the color changes. It goes from
does.
4K to what is it?
Standard def.
Standard definition.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to 4K.
But
So-
we got to take in consideration, Charlie, that it's the only existing 35 millimeter print of that
Yeah.
film.
At that time, yeah,
It's
yeah.
they're not. We don't have several sources.
Sources.
It's only one.
Right, so they had to work off that one
Exactly.
35 millimeter film from
But you could-
1972.
But you
Yeah.
could watch it non 4K. It's included.
Yeah.
If that seems
It's
too
a-
distracting for you,
Yeah.
you could watch it.
Gian, have you
No.
seen the new footage?
No, and that's amazing to me that they would put out something with 10 minutes of extra footage after all these years. Like,
Yeah.
I would have thought that, yeah, so...
Yeah.
Like, why'd they wait 50 years,
Yeah.
right, to do that if they had the footage?
Exactly, but that's a good point.
Was
That's a
it
good
just
point.
discovered, or did they have it all along? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I believe. I mean,
You think they had it?
but you know what? I was talking to John Little yesterday. And I said to John Little, the producer of A Warrior's Journey, I said to John, I really think that you're the one that started this trend of recently discovered footage. Because he was the one that discovered the Law's Game of Death footage.
Right.
And put together, him and Bay Logan,
Yeah.
they put together A Warrior's Journey.
Which
And
was top notch and still is top notch.
of course, it's
Yeah.
still mind blowing
Yeah,
when you see
mind-blowing.
it. Also, John is credited for discovering the Pierre Burton Lost interview. So back in the days, what you saw, what you got, or is what you saw, and what you saw is what you got, right? But then enter John Little. John Little starts coming up with this recently discovered footage, and now all these companies are coming with
Out with the footage.
with footage, because back then nobody cared about looking.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about searching anything.
Yeah.
We got Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, Return of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Game of Death. That's it. But then somebody was curious. It's got to be more.
Yeah.
And John Little started.
Yes, he did.
And now you got Arrow with this. I know for a fact,
Say it.
Gian, I know for a fact, you're still a little too young to know this, but there's an infamous saw in the head scene when Bruce Lee in what do you call it? He
Yeah, chops the guy in the head with the
chops
saw.
him in the head with the
And the saw
embeds
sticks.
the saw in the
into
guy's head. Right?
And he goes,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some people, I spoke to Bay Logan personally, and Bay Logan said, yes, it exists. Yet, I've spoken to other people that they tell me, no, it does not. So, I believe that if it does exist, it's going to show up one of these days. Also, the Blondie episode,
that's
the
the
one
other
that
thing
you've
we've
been
been
after for so
searching.
many years. Because of this. Because of this,
gonna happen. It's
somebody's
momentum.
going to go out and they're going to really search, and they're going to find it.
There's an episode, Gian, called Blondie that Bruce did back in the 60s.
In the 60s.
When he was making all those little television spots. And he plays a karate instructor, and it's a 30 minutes of Bruce playing a karate instructor, and everyone's looking for that episode. And no one to this day has found the Blondie episode.
Yeah.
We're all wondering. There's not even pictures on it, yet it's been out. People say, hey, it exists, right?
Okay.
That's seen it back then, but you can't even see a photo on it. There's not even a
Really?
Have you
so
seen a
it's-
photo?
It's just a myth
No.
at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
after all these years, no one has discovered, and people have looked, right?
But actually, Richard Torres, I got a good friend of mine. He's a big-time collector and friends of the Lee family. Richard Torres hosted something called Bruce Lee Eve that Robert Blakeman held every year in honor of
Right.
Bruce Lee. May he rest in peace. But Richard Torres told me personally that someone brought, I think it was, I don't know if I should mention a name, but I'm not going to mention because I didn't ask him any permission. But a famous collector brought a VHS print of Blondie. And it was shown at one of the Bruce Lee Eves.
Really?
Yeah.
Richard remembers seeing that.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, we have to.
That's trippy.
Yep. Somebody did indeed bring a VHS copy of the episode, and yeah,
So it
Frankie.
might be out
But
there.
Hector, Charlie, you've seen so many prints of this film. 35mm over there, VHS, Betamax, VCD, DVD, water, paper. So many different versions of this film.
we can't get it over Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah. And you saw Big Boss. That's the only one you saw on this set?
No, I saw Big Boss, Fist of Fury, and the extra unseen footage of Game
What do you think of the quality from a person of your caliber?
of the Big Boss.
Who speaks for everybody? Because not many people are like technical savvy like that. When you saw the quality and you've seen so many different versions, even the original, what do you think of the transfers that you saw on the 4K
So far.
so far?
I always say this, right? That beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What may look good to you may not necessarily look good to me. Okay, I'm going to answer that question, but we also have to take into consideration that The Big Boss was produced in 1971.
Well, no, of course.
It's a very low budget movie. There's not much you can do for The Big Boss unless you had the original 35mm print at home or at the theater, right?
Right.
So, that being said, I think they did a very, very good job at cleaning up The Big Boss here for Arrow. I wasn't blown away completely because Shout put it out on Blu-ray. Other companies, right, exactly. Thank you for pointing that out. Criterion already put it out. It looks a little better, but of course, I appreciate it. But it's not something like I've been watching it on VHS for so many years, and then all of a sudden, bam! Arrow comes out. You kidding me? I think I'd watch.
So you progressively went up in stages. That's
right?
Right?
You're already accustomed.
Yeah. You see the improvements, the slight improvements.
Right. But what did impress me was the 10-minute
deleted scenes.
So I am wondering about that. I know. Does it? I mean, I don't know if you can actually separate it in your mind because you've seen the old one for so long, but do you think it does add to the experience, or is it just enough to just see more new footage? Or do you think the overall movies, any of the ones that had the extra 10 minutes, kind of enhance the story a little bit?
It did.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I just started watching it here with him, and I was telling him it drags it out a little longer because it takes away some of the action that comes up quicker.
Right.
And in Bruce Lee movies, we're looking for the action. But I'm just such a diehard Bruce Lee fan that I want to see every millisecond of him on screen, even if he's just making a facial expression or smiling or crossing his arms and giving a smirk, which we saw.
Or maybe one of these.
Oh, one of these, right?
Yeah.
I love seeing it, but it does slow the story a little bit down, and you ask yourself, was that a really essential scene to leave in back then? You
Was it
almost
necessary?
realize why they cut it out. It's not really a necessary scene.
That's why I like Arrow, because the original Big Boss here, they put those scenes as deleted scenes on that disc. So if you don't want to watch the Mandarin cut, just those scenes, you can watch the Big Boss, and they're there as
just
extra.
those scenes.
Yeah.
Just 10 minutes of the extra scenes. That's why.
This
Baho just put those out. He's got it from there.
That's why I like this box so much. It was so well curated. It thought about the fans, little details, and the nuances. You know.
And what did you think, being a color expert and an enhancement expert, of the quality of the 4K?
The first one
versus some of the other ones that you've seen that weren't in 4K.
The Laserdisc. I seen the VHS of these films, and when I put the 4K, because Fist of Fury is my favorite one. I don't see anything else on Bruce Lee. Just Fist of Fury.
That's my personal favorite. Yeah.
When I put it on and I sat down, I sent them pictures right away. I sat down. I put my head up and I went like, "Are you serious?" It just.
Yeah.
I was like, it can't look this good.
Okay, so it really blew you away in 4K.
Yeah.
Now, what benefits about 4K is not like the sharpness, is the color. As it says in the box right here, high dynamic range, you're gonna get more colors.
Oh, that's
more vibrancy.
Okay.
So when you see somebody sweat on their face, you're gonna see something called spectral highlights, like a gloss. Something that the Blu-ray doesn't pick up. Extra shadow details.
You see that? You know about that. You're an artist.
I don't know about the 4K. I haven't.
Yeah, so when you
haven't seen the difference
So
yet?
when you buy a 4K film, it's not really about the resolution. You're buying it more for the HDR.
Oh, that's
right.
Because
strong point.
And
that
you
is a good point.
And like I was telling Hector, one thing people don't know about, and that's why my channel exists, A lot of people don't realize you have to activate it manually on your TV. The 4K, same thing with the Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
So when you look at these films in proper HDR, and it did a fantastic job with this one. When you flip back and forth with the Criterion one, it's gonna look blurry. The color's gonna look overblown, powdery.
Wow.
It looks old now.
Oh, really?
It looks old, yeah.
You can tell that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was switching back and forth.
And just to see the difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like,
Good
whoa.
point.
Yeah.
But the Criterion one still holds up, has a very good contrast, has a good punch
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, so
Now-
before this came out, I think
Yeah.
Criterion was the set. I mean, that's what everyone was buying.
It still
Yeah.
is because
I still love it.
I do too.
No, I love my
I
Criterion.
love it because it
Must.
has a certain look. I'm about the vibes. If I want the Arrow experience, I watch it, the Arrow experience. If I want that crushed blacks is when it hides details in the blacks.
But it makes it more graphic.
It makes it more graphics. It gives it that pop.
Yeah.
I put the Criterion one. The Criterion one feels like Times Square, 1988. Arrow
More from
feels.
the era.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Arrow feels like you're having dinner with your wife and drinking some wine.
Got ya,
Some
got ya.
classy stuff.
Champagne.
It's classy.
I got
Yeah,
I got
true.
you. And then if you want the ultimate 70s experience, you
Yeah.
put Hector's 35 millimeter Enter the Dragon print on that
Oh,
we seen
man.
in the movie theaters,
Yeah.
and you hear the before it starts.
That's the best.
That's
by far.
the best experience. Even though the color's off and it's not the sharpest, that is like, that brings you
Nah,
back
that's
to the
the
70s.
vibes. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's the
the-
vibes.
it's right there.
That's what you mean by vibe.
Yeah.
It takes you back to the
Takes you
Deuce.
back.
Yes, yes.
42nd Street.
But the quality in these things and these release, I'm a very picky guy. It's the best I've seen for old films.
Wow.
It's one of the best.
That's what I'm
From
hearing.
you,
Yeah,
that means,
that- it
it
does
means a
mean a
lot
lot.
because he's very technical.
Yeah, from this from the 70s,
Yeah.
especially what I know, what
Yeah.
these films will handle from the Bruce Lee stuff, what they did to Fist of Fury, especially Big Boss, I'm shocked. And Where the Dragon is already a rough print as
Yeah.
it is in the beginning,
Yeah.
but disregard that. But as the film progressed, the quality.
Oh yeah, you noticed that.
When you see Bruce Lee do the flex,
It gets
you
better?
see the sweat. It just looks. I'm like, wow,
Wow,
it looks good.
let's get to that one.
From this whole thing, but the color might look a little different. Again, it's subjective. I like the way it looks better on the Criterion one.
Okay,
Because it's
okay.
a little red, the
Yeah,
flesh tones.
yeah.
But disregard that. It's the film print at the store.
Yeah.
This set overall, like, this is historical.
Yeah.
This,
Good way to
I never
put
s-
it.
This is historical.
That's what people are saying online right now, man. Is that it's
Yeah.
epic. It's historical. That
The
set.
fact there's so many people to name here. Brandon Bentley, he's a good friend of mine on Twitter. He's the one that put the Mandarin cut, the hyper
Yeah.
cut together.
Nice.
Dylan Chung did the accurate subtitles. He does subtitles for these films.
Wow.
It's a lot of amazing people that were involved with this.
Yeah.
These passionate people.
There's a lot. Yeah, man. A lot of work went into this.
Like I'm not gonna name it all. My voice is already flying
Yeah,
in and out.
you're I appreciate you contributing
You
the way
know,
you are
but
right
there's
now.
so
'cause
much, man.
You're
Look at
the
this.
expert on the technical side of this.
Look at this. Michael Worth, John Krang, Andy Chang, Courtney Joyner, David Young, Frank Zheng, and others.
So many people.
A lot
Yeah.
of people worked on this.
Wow.
man. Yeah.
But Fist of Fury is the best quality and the big boss of the print. Fist of Fury, when you see him with that white outfit,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, it's a brand new film.
Wow.
When you get your player, you know, put it in, you'll be like,
So you
better get one of
mentioned
these,
something.
right?
I just ordered my
You got
4K
to, man.
player, the one Hector recommended, the
4K player,
Sony.
so
You do? You
4K
have one?
player.
No, I don't.
Oh,
But,
you
I
gotta
don't
get
have
that
a-
too.
I don't have a 4K TV. So you said you need to make an adjustment on something once you put the player and the TV up. You still have to adjust something in there to see.
you don't have a 4K TV
Oh,
yet,
no,
right?
no.
Right.
So it's gonna downsample to 1080p.
Okay.
But you're not gonna get
The full.
the color gamut.
Okay.
The expansion of the color. When you get the 4K TV, you have to go into the TV settings and like a.
You gonna do that for me today?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You'll calibrate it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's real quick.
Thank you.
And you gotta turn it on. Hey, I'm gonna set this higher single. Think about it like, hey, I'm about to put diesel fuel in your car.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's a level up.
Yeah, to level up.
Yeah.
So
Once
I
you
don't
turn.
know if people know they need to calibrate this.
Most don't.
No,
they don't.
and what most people don't do, especially with newer TVs, is they don't turn off the motion smoothing.
The smoothing, that's it.
That kills it.
Oh wow!
And it's so crazy. It bugs me every time, like, you know, you're at a hotel or something like that. Because so what happens? What this motion smoothing is basically it's something that the industry has created so that when you're, I don't know if people even go to Best Buys anymore, but when you're at Best Buy and there's like a row of TVs, you're looking for, and it's usually like nature or something like that.
Right.
You're looking for the one that looks the most fluid, the most clear, or HD.
Yeah.
So this motion smoothing actually does make sports and nature feel more vibrant and popping because it has a filter. But like you could make any TV can make it look however it wants, but when it's compared to other TVs, you're looking at them side by side, you're like, oh, this one's dope. But when people don't turn that off, for me everything looks like a soap opera, like because it crushes the atmospheric perspective. You know, like so everything just looks too clear.
Right.
You know, so
looks almost like video.
Yeah, so it might look cool for sports. You know, you're like, oh, it looks, or you're looking at nature documentaries. But for when you're really trying to be discerning about versions of videos, you're like killing all the effects that the filmmakers made.
Yes.
So you should shut that off then.
Wow.
Yeah,
You should.
like every TV. Yeah.
That's another good point,
So
man.
Tom Cruise has like a huge thing on it, like where he's like he has like a whole campaign.
Turn it off.
Really?
Yeah, because they have motion blur and everything.
But it's most people don't know about it. It's just there's.
I'm glad we brought that up today.
Now you know.
Because you get judder sometimes too.
Yeah.
So when it's moving,
Thanks for bringing that up.
it looks weird.
Really?
It looks very weird.
Yeah.
So you like both Chinese Connection and Fist of Fury. I have some people saying that they like the print on Fist of Fury or Big Boss even better because most of it took place outside.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's not as dark as Chinese Connection, right?
Well, this is why, again, I'm a technical person. They both look great, of course. You know, the Big Boss being outside is vibrant in nature. But from a technical level, you know how difficult it is to get dark scenes on your films on disc, to not have something called artifacts, like little specks on the blacks.
Yeah.
It just looks clean.
Got you.
You see the film grip and everything, so there's no crushed blacks. It just looks so freaking good.
That's good to know. I'm glad to know because I was getting a little disappointed when I heard that Fist of Fury looked better than Chinese. But you're saying Chinese Connection still looks incredible.
No, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
No, and like I said, those two are going to be knockouts.
Okay.
When you put it on, because I went from...
Good to know, man. I can't wait to get to
Because when I
that.
put the Big Boss, I was like, oh my God, her face looks natural. Because in the Criterion one, she looks like a ghost when she's doing the ices.
Oh, yeah.
You did show me that.
Yeah, I showed you the
She looked
picture.
like she had powder.
Yeah.
Like white
Wow.
powder.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And then
that's
when
how
you see it here, it's sharper.
it looks sharper.
Yeah.
You can see more details in
Yeah.
her hair. And her skin tone is natural.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was going like this, like,
Wow.
it's a different film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
You're really gonna enjoy this, bro. When you get your 4K player and you buy this box set, it's a whole new perspective on cinema. Yeah, they did a great job. Another thing, Enter the Dragon here is not 4K.
Right.
There's a new
2K?
release.
Is it 2K?
It's
2K, yeah,
It's like 2K, right?
Yes,
it's
it's a
a
Blu-ray.
2K Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's a Blu-ray.
But the 4K is scheduled to come out in August. Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
This is Warner Brothers money. You think the Arrow set looks good? Enter the Dragon?
That's gonna.
Yeah, I just
Granddaddy.
ordered the regular one and I ordered the deluxe version as well. I'm getting both.
Yeah.
I had to.
You gotta keep them sealed.
Yes. No, I'm gonna watch those in 4K. I'm dying to see that.
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
you know
look
it's
good.
my favorite film.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
You know about that, right? That Enter the Dragon comes out next month.
In 4K.
in 4K.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Gian is more submerged into his artwork.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's
That's
okay.
the thing,
I'm
like-
glad he was here to contribute.
He's very,
today,
very
though.
busy. He's
Yeah,
very busy
you know,
now.
I have like a little movie time at the end of the day, but most of it, my favorite thing is listening to audiobooks and stuff while I'm painting, because it's
Oh,
almost
nice,
like
nice.
watching a movie in
Yeah,
my head while
yeah.
I'm putting out work. So.
Hey, that's,
Excellent.
Now,
that's
I
good,
remember
man.
when we spoke when he did a mural in Chinatown,
that's
Pearl
awesome.
Street. He did a mural on Pearl Street in Chinatown, New
On
York.
Pearl. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
We were talking about
Doyers. Yeah.
Oh, Doyers, yeah.
Doyers.
We were talking about Street
So-
Fighter before it came out. And he's talking about like, hey, I want to pick it up. I'm like, I don't have the time. We don't have the time. We want to do things, but we're so into our own thing, especially him.
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Got you. I got you. Well, Hector, before we end this today, first of all, does anyone else want to say anything about these incredible boxes? I mean, we could talk about them for weeks, right? Because we have to get through 10 discs. I heard it could take
The
you a
only
month
thing I have
to
to
watch through everything.
All I have to say is this:
Oh, we-
just be patient. Don't get too mad if it comes with a little dent.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a love bump. That's Bruce Lee trying to come out of the box. That's how powerful the 4K is.
Yeah. Well,
That's some Bruce Love.
the joke online now is that if you have a dent in your 4K, it's an original.
Yes,
Right.
That's the big joke now.
Good
It
point.
is.
It's good. If you have the dent, that means it's an original. It's not a
You know
bootleg.
what? First printing.
Infamous
Yes, it's the
dent.
first printing. So,
So,
I
Charlie, my apologies. I also wanted to point out that Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, and Game of Death are in 4K.
Okay.
Everything else is actually Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
the
Tower,
extras.
the extras,
extras, all Blu-ray.
Tower of Death, Bruce Lee, The Legend.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of
Blu-ray.
course not. Yeah.
So even though they say 4K on the box, it's just really the Bruce films that are in 4K.
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
Oh, right.
It's a combination of Blu-ray, 4K, and Blu-ray.
That's actually important. If you don't have a region-free player, and if you're in the States, you won't be able to view the extras because they're Blu-rays.
Right.
4K is region-free. You could be in the jungles in my country, in the Dominican Republic. You have a 4K player, you get to watch it. But it's region B, the extras.
Region B.
Got you.
Yep.
All right, man. Well,
yeah.
I also want you to talk about the big event that's happening on August 19th when Bruce Lee was in Enter the Dragon and it was released here in the United States for the first time in '73. So what are we doing in August?
August 19th, God willing, if we're all healthy, everything is well. August 19th, I'll be screening my 35mm print of Enter the Dragon, but it's going to be for a small audience, maybe 40 or 50 people. Yeah.
In the where theater is it going to be?
It's going to be at the Anthology Film Archives, which is on 2nd Street and 2nd Avenue.
And you have to pre-purchase, right? The donation.
You got to buy the tickets,
right?
yeah. Donations is $22.
$22.
So,
because we had to rent out, or Hector had to rent out the place, and there's a fee involved for that. But it's going to be a
Show
great
some
event.
love, man.
Yeah. And are we almost there with the number of people that we're?
Yeah. We're just about
there?
done. I mean, it's a non-profit event.
Yep.
I'm not going to be making a single cent. Actually, I had to put some of my money into this project. And also, I want to thank Charlie, who donated. Spider donated. Edgar Betancourt donated. Milton Tapp, who is not attending, but he donated, as well as Andy Bovell. Andy Bovell is not attending, but yet he donated for the cause.
Yeah.
Because he wants other people to watch Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. Everyone wants to experience it like we saw it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Now we can do on your print. You're coming, right?
Yeah, it's my
You haven't
first
seen it
time.
on the big screen.
Never. This is
it's
I'm
gonna be
like.
wild.
I invited Gian, but Gian's going to be busy.
Yeah,
Okay.
But will you be there in spirit?
He's got a UFC event.
Yeah.
So there's other theaters that are showing it in 4K digital.
Right. In
Who
August.
cares about
I know.
that? I want to see the original 35mm print
I wanna
the
hear
way
the
I
pop.
saw it in the Deuce.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what we're going to experience
That's what we're
on
gonna see,
August
bro.
19th.
Yep.
So that should be fun, man. So
Absolutely.
listen, I wanted to thank you, Frankie, for coming here today.
Always.
And Hector, always.
Charlie, always
And
a pleasure. Frankie,
Gian, thank you for
Frankie Balboa,
participating in
Gian
this
Galang.
today.
Yeah, thanks for
Yes,
having me.
my
Thank you.
brother.
Guys, if you guys want to order these, you can do it online at arrow.com, right? There's still this one just sold out. I heard you can't even get the yellow one anymore. It's sold out now.
So
But I
now you
think
gotta
the
go.
red
You
one-
gotta go on eBay.
Yeah, and I heard the prices already went up on eBay, but you can still get the reds on Arrow. I'm getting mine in the mail shortly. Hector got all his versions. As you can see, he got the Blu-ray, the exclusive, and the 4K red box set as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I'm signing out saying have fun collection, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
You got it.
Thanks for joining us, guys.